Yeah. Good morning, MarketChameleon.com. I'm Adam. That's Will. My cat just
Is
jumped
this
on
Will?
the table. This is going to be a great show today, man.
Is it?
Here he comes.
I'm not so sure.
He wants to be on the show. He wants to be on the show. Here he comes.
Get that
All right,
cat
everybody
off the
following
screen.
on YouTube, remember, you got to click that bell, click that subscribe button, tick that bell. Catch us live here every morning. If you're on the Chameleon, click up there on the right-hand side. Click subscribe. Get your free Chameleon cup. Come on and join the best data and analytics in the business, man.
It's funny. You go like this, and I look on my screen like there, and I don't see anything. Why? How come my screen doesn't? Is anyone out there seeing it? When you go like this, is there anyone seeing anything except you?
I try to do the opposite. It's tough to, man. Which is right, which is left. Right and left are perspectives. And look, there he goes, man. No Chameleon cup this morning. He's a black dogger today.
I shipped my last Chameleon cup to somewhere in Malaysia. We'll see how that works. I mean,
we got a couple in Malaysia. It's in Malaysia. We got Madagascar. Where else are we sending it? All over the U.S., Canada.
They're about to take one of these unicorns public. I don't know if you've heard of this Lyft product, the Lyft. Still trying to understand it. How you get into it's so unique.
How does this work? You order it? Is that you call them up? How does that work?
Comes to your house. They pick you up. It's like this revolutionary concept. How could they? It's revolutionary,
dude. I love it, man. We're gonna get into that. Why don't you go ahead and bring up your screen, brother? I'm bringing up the disclaimer. Everybody, remember, option trading is risky. We are not absolutely 100% not telling you what to trade. We're giving you ideas. You got to do your own research. That's what the Chameleon's for.
Based on my turkey pitch situation, you probably just do everything the opposite. I'm sure there are people out there who are actually
people have become very, very wealthy doing the opposite of what Will does.
Yeah, no, it's
I'm still seeing my face there, brother. When are you going to bring up the Chameleano, man? While we're waiting,
I forgot how to do that.
Subscribe button, tick the bell if you're on YouTube.
Can you see the Chameleano?
Yeah, I got it.
Actually, the Chameleon, the first thing I did this morning was check on what's going on in Jetland, and they talked about
this news, man.
I mean, this is how pathetic Jet fans like myself are. You get actually a little excitement when Greg Schiano resigns from the Patriots.
We're like the worst teenagers, man. It's like we get excited about bad news from other teams.
It's terrible. I mean, what's wrong with us?
That's when you know you follow the worst team ever, when you get excited about bad news from other teams.
Yeah, it really is. It's just terrible. So I was peeling down the Chameleon this morning, and first thing that popped up is RH. I don't know if you remember what RH is.
No, what is it?
It's down 18% after hours. We talked about it yesterday. One day away from the morning options report.
That's the one with the.
Take a guess.
I'm thinking hardware, right?
Yes, high-end hardware. We talked about it yesterday. There were it was Lululemon's earnings yesterday, and we noticed volatility in RH based on one of the screeners was relatively cheap relative to the previous moves, and so we looked at it. We thought about maybe doing a bearish. Well, I thought about maybe doing a bearish trade. So this was the one time I actually gave a good piece of information. But we'd screen for the credit spreads, and there were none with theoretical edge, but there were a lot with win rates and cushion if the stock went down and had a reasonable return. So just thought I would talk about that. Another pop-up.
Are you highlighting winners right there, man? You're saying they're not all losers?
It was just an interesting piece. Anyways, KNX showed up in the feed this morning, and I spoke about that yesterday on a tweet. I don't know if anyone saw it, but there was a lot of call activity in this stock. I want to just highlight this. Has a PE of 5. Has a dividend yield. It was actually picked up by one of the great Nigerian brothers yesterday, and their service.
I've always thought, if Will really grew out his hair and did a nice little ponytail, he could do that, man.
I think
the key is the ponytail, dude.
That's coming. I mean, they are. I bet you they're fun guys to hang out with.
Oh,
Jerry.
100%, man.
They've had some good times. But anyways, it looks like someone is super bullish based on the activity. If you go to the option chain,
Yep.
click on that. It was August, so they're in for a little bit of a ride. It's 3 months, 4 months out. All the volatilities are up. You can see in red. Our Theo is so they're paying up. So I just thought maybe it's a chance to look at our risk reversal, see if we can take anything in if we put this thing on. So we're going to be long the 25 delta upside call, short the 25 delta. Actually, that's short that line, short the 25 delta put. We'll reload that bad boy, and sure enough, we can take in a 53-cent credit. If we put on that risk reversal, we start making above 50, or you can just look to piggyback the calls if you want, or do nothing if you want. A lot of options. But the interesting thing is they're paying up for these. I mean, maybe you just take a flyer on. You could do a downside put spread if you want. Sell that at the money and buy something lower to, identify your total risk package.
Well, if you are on Twitter, you see streaming down below, there's our one of our Twitter handles. We have several. Will's got an individual one. Will puts out content all day long. He brings it all day long on Twitter. So if you want, it's almost like a continuation of this show without me, which is even better, man. Even better. And he brings it every day on Twitter. So search I Trade Vol on Twitter, and there you go, man.
You can search for it. I mean, you're going a little overboard.
You
with
can't
the all day
you can't
stuff.
search.
I'm not.
Will's never used the search button on Twitter. You can't search on Twitter. That's not possible. What are you talking about?
There's no searching on Twitter. It's an impossibility. How could that ever work? How could something ever search? I Trade Vol, though. It's an easy one.
Easy one.
So I just did. I did do a screen to see about selling something and being able to collect, and there was only one available in KNX, but it is there for you to take a look at. The next thing I wanted to talk about, and basically was these financials have been getting a little beat up, even though in the pre-markets it's up, going in because of these fallen interest rates. People are under the basically the interest rates go down, it's harder for banks to make money.
Yep.
So for the entire sector, I did a screen for the bearish market, credit spreads, debit put spread screener, and there are a bunch of opportunities in there to be short the entire financial sector. The opposite side of that trade is there's still two in the sector that I'm bullish on, even though they've sold off. JPMorgan. I love their internal blockchain. I mean, that is going to be a monster. Monster.
It's a monster.
This is a stock we've talked about before. I mean, Jamie Dimon's
Jamie Dimon, hashtag Jamie Dimon, hashtag blockchain.
Hashtag Jamie Dimon for president. That's what I say.
Dude,
that being said,
what are you going to do? Why am I not hearing any more news on this great internal blockchain?
You hear it every day if you're in the space.
It reminds me of one of those like things, where you like the guy will build it and you go to get a cup of coffee and he pushes a button and 800 things have to happen before you get, the ball to fall in the right way and like click the thing, and it's one of those big giant like motion machines. Is that what the JPM blockchain is? It's a big giant motion machine.
There was a cartoonist who conceptualized that whole, making something that's very easy, very complicated.
Exactly.
Love that, and that's the strength of JPMorgan. Customers don't understand anything that's going on.
If you don't understand what they're doing, then you don't have the vision, man.
I do believe it's best of breed, 3.2% yield. P at 12. You can keep an eye on it. You don't have to get in right away. I just thought I'd mention it. I did screen for some credit spreads, and there were quite a few available to get long Morgan. I'm sure if you want to get short Morgan, take the other side of that trade, there will also be some available. So use your spread screener to take a look and always look for the theoretical edge, high win rates, downside cushion.
Yep.
5% return if the stock is flat. And Wells Fargo was.
By the
other
way, Will,
piece.
what do you think? What do you think you'd be doing right now
I
if your
don't.
name was William Sapphire?
William Sapphire?
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
Because I think you'd be
Sounds
leading
like
a
an
Fortune
act.
500 company right now, dude.
Oh, no, it sounds more like a man who's in some
William
sketchy
Sapphire.
movies. Sketchy movies. Inappropriate movies. I mean, you'd have been an actor in those movies in the 70s. I don't know if, those actors even have names today.
Oh, so you're saying that actually he's done himself an incredible, like that name didn't predict anything. That name, he had to actually overcome that name.
He earned that
He
name.
overcame that.
He
That name very
Yo,
easily. He could have been
yeah,
heckled into
that's a bad
stripping
name.
or something like that with that kind of name.
Yes. I mean, he could have been. I mean, it's not.
So it takes a
good name.
real man to overcome a name like that.
Yes, William
yeah,
Sapphire.
man, maybe you're right.
Super bad name. Don't give me that name. Hashtag at William Sapphire. I mean, you imagine the love mail I'd get with that name. That's terrible. Terrible.
That is actually Will's Twitter name, William Sapphire.
Let's stop. I don't want that going anywhere. So next thing was Wells Fargo. They had a resignation yesterday. CEO steps down. People think this may lead to better leadership. I mean, this company has been struggling internally for years. I mean, the stuff they were doing.
They had some bad stuff happening.
Yeah, it seemed like bad news after bad news. Not only that, unlike JPMorgan, which basically did not have a lot of bad issues with the mortgage markets. Wells Fargo's was right in the middle of it. But they're still here. Buffett's got a big position. Hopefully new leadership will bring a change. It also has, these banks all actually have a reasonable yield PE ratio, which, head on a swivel. They may continue to drift low. I'm just put them in people's mind to keep an eye on it. If you look at the entire XLF, if I can get to that. So the entire financial sector, if you go to that summary, the dividend yield of that is 2.1%. So when you look at Morgan at 3.2% and Wells, I think was 3.7.
Yep.
Those yields are, pretty nice, well above the index.
Yep.
So I looked at that as also a potential. Actually, I looked at that from the Wells is from the bearish market that they may continue to have problems before a new CEO can be found. More news may come out. Who knows?
Yep.
So that was a bearish play, and it was an easy screen for it. Lots of opportunities to get bearish in Wells if you are so inclined. I forgot what the next. Now I remember.
What?
This is like, why did we go to Penn State? Why did we start talking about Penn State the other day? And now just popped into my head what I was looking at next. I looked. We put out. I don't know if anyone's ever bothered to look, but we do put blogs together every couple days.
Yep.
And it's under the news, the blog section. I was just clicked on the bullish order flow sentiment. Here.
Yep.
You see that? Is that too off to the side?
You got it.
And I was just looking to see where the bullish flow. Now, if you click onto the view full report, you can, if you're not registered for it, you can register for these emails also down here. The one that popped up at me is interesting. Well, there were two. This is Europe, actually English. It's a shift from bearish to bullish. We're close to that Brexit vote. Maybe that's a play. I screened, but there were no options available. But just be aware of that EWU.
Yep.
But it was actually, we talked about Lulu yesterday, more bullish order flow in it even yesterday.
Yeah.
But it was this 5 below. I don't know if have you ever been into a 5
love that
below?
Place, man.
5
you
below.
do every time I'm there. We're going to 5 below. All the kids are like, woo, 5 below.
It's like knick-knack central. I looked at it from the bullish standpoint and screened for some credit spreads, and there are a lot available. A lot.
Man, go back. What's that PE? The PE is 57.
No,
is that what I saw right there?
I was just looking at that myself. I mean, how much growth is there in the knick-knack business?
The knick-knack paddywhack business, man. There's a lot of.
This is actually a Philadelphia-based company as well.
It literally is. It's a knick-knack business. I mean, maybe
it is. It's beautiful. It's beautiful presentation of knickknacks.
Yeah.
They have huge candy section by the register with big, huge candy bars. And I mean, it's just they've done a great job merchandising stuff that smells bad from China.
They've done a great job merchandising stuff that smells bad.
I mean, have you ever smelled these plastic toys? I mean, they've got like an odor to them, which is like
it's like the antithesis of like the Hallmark store.
Yeah, no, it's exactly right. And they do a real good job with real estate too. They get really favorable positions in bad malls.
Is that a good idea? That sounds like a terrible idea, dude. That's the business plan. Let's go to really, really bad malls.
Oh, really?
Get a really good deal. That sounds like a terrible. If you're telling me that is their business model, I am sell. I mean, come on.
All right.
Man.
Well, it went pub. I mean, listen, I'm not debating you. You do it. Ollie's bargain. This is another one. I mean, it's basically the same concept. They go to lower rated retail spaces, chisel out unbelievable leases because they can prove that they drive traffic. And here you go. It's another high PE. I mean, these are retail flyers, but they have one hiccup, and it could be it could lead to a negative move in the stock. So I actually looked at Five Below as a continued bullish trade, and there were a lot to screen for. But after seeing that PE and just talking to you, you may want to screen for the bearish side of this trade as well.
Yeah.
Last thing, I wanted to throw this out to the Chameleon community. I heard Warren Buffett, who's a big fan of the Chameleon himself, has an internal look with all the rail holdings he has.
Yep.
To how much freight is being moved quarter over quarter. And I'm just wondering, does anyone know if there's a metric out there where people like us, and I was just doing a little look online, looking to see if I could find it. But if anyone knows anything about tracking the movement of freight, any public data sources, be greatly appreciated.
All right. Will's doing some research there, everybody. Get ready, man.
I'm
trying. Remember, if you are on if you are on YouTube right now, click that subscribe button, tick that bell. You catch us live here every morning. But go ahead down in the comments, hit Will up with a URL or a website or whatever. Let him know where you can get that data so he can bring us some good info.
I'm sending cups if anyone sends me good data on that.
Ooh, first person to give him a good data point gets a cup. Fresh cups,
yes.
Delivered daily, man.
Yes.
Still, remember, everybody, we're the largest purchaser of chameleons on the East Coast. So it's very possible we become the number one buyer of chameleons in all of the Americas very shortly, which would be amazing.
There have been calls for a live chameleon to be brought on the show, but PETA may not be happy with that. We may be shut down.
Trust me, everything is on the table, man.
Everything is on the table. Thanks for joining us, chameleons.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. That's William Sapphire over there. I'm Adam Awesome right here, and we're living the dream. What do you think about that, brother? William Sapphire.
I don't know what living the dream is. It is a reasonably nice life, and kids are happy. Everyone's healthy. Living the dream. Where were you? In some tropical paradise?
Dude, what's going on? It sounds amazing. Wait, is today Friday? Oh, my God. That's how you know, man. That's how you know you're living the dream, man, when you go, what day is it today?
From you, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's all the same. My Saturdays and Sundays, I'm up 6 a.m., loading the kids into a minivan and getting them off to girls lacrosse games all day. 3 games Saturday, 3 games Sunday.
Is there a better way to spend a weekend, awesome. Man? No way, man.
That is living the dream.
That is
living the dream.
Absolutely. All right, great. Have a great weekend, everybody. And we'll see you back here Monday. Later.
Love you, chameleon.